Okay. Good morning. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Morning over there. Okay. Thank you for your attention, and welcome to the April 3rd regular town meeting for the Town Council. May we all stand for the pledge led by Dennis.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Item number 2, are there any visitors who wish to be heard? Jane? Jane?
Is this up? I'm Jane Scully Welch, 101 Grove Street, Carol Walter Dual Corp. Carol and I and Mary are here to ask you to accept our request to honor the memory of Peter Allen Neff. Pete moved here and quickly joined in everything. I mean, he was on the police commission, the municipal building commission, the
Board of Finance.
Board of Finance for 9 years, and that's a killer right there. Oh, shoot, I'm lost. Anyway, his biggest, he was the interim town manager until he got Carl. Do I have an
right
echo
here
here?
next to her.
I have no.
I'm going to fill in the blanks.
All right, I'm old, Carol, you know that. His biggest commitment was to the Department of Public Works. When he was appointed, he streamlined the
Process,
yeah,
the whole
that.
thing. Made everything efficient.
hired good
and
men and women,
higher functioning. And
took on new projects. He did everything. He was Mr. DPW. So, Mary, Carol, and I would like to honor this man, honor his memory, and he was a great man, by naming the Public Works building on Nod Road in his honor. Naming a building after someone is something we probably haven't done before, and I assume we can. It's a gesture that we need to do for Pete. He was so good to this town, and we want to keep his memory going. So it'd just probably be a plaque, nothing big. Although he was a big man, he would have liked something big.
nothing wrong with
But we want to make, many of us here even, would like to have it so that he's remembered for all he has done for Clinton. And also to show our gratitude as the town because of all he did. So I ask you as a town council to take it into consideration and
honor Pete's commitment and the legacy that he has left to Clinton.
right.
Not only in the activities that he took place in and the policies that he implemented, but in the structure that he provided to Clinton and the people that he left us with who are also actively engaged in making Clinton a better place to be.
I forgot about the volunteer fire department.
I know.
He was a chief. Can't forget those guys. He was a chief of that. He was just an amazing man. I'd go into the pretty committee, but I won't today. And I hope you agree with us. He deserves it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Sorry, I need a show of hands again. Wayne?
Thank you. I'm Wayne Buchanan, 16 James Vincent Drive, and I'm here on behalf of the Republican Town Committee to express our endorsement for Bob Corson to fill the vacant seat on the Inland Waterways Commission. Bob has the endorsement of the Republican Town Committee, and he's so well respected by the leadership of the Republican Party that they recently elected him to be the next chairman of the RTC. But going beyond politics, Bob is a man that is a Republican who is ready to fill the seat of a position that was previously held by a Democrat. And just to kind of bring us back to the previous town council administration, when we had a situation, I think it was the Fair Housing Commission, and Dennis did a great job of reflecting that in a letter to the editor in our local newspaper, where we had two qualified candidates. One was a veteran, a Republican, to fill this seat on the Fair Housing Commission, and the other was a former chairman of the Green Party, an articulate and a former member of the town council. And even though it was under the leadership of a Republican town council at the time, they unanimously elected the other gentleman to be a member of the town council, to be a member of the Fair Housing Commission. And Dennis always loves the phrase, it's, what is it, Dennis?
Started off, maybe I'll remember.
Party, something over politics. People over politics. And,
Which I stole from the gentleman,
oh, that was Chris's, okay.
Chris. He ran on his.
I do have a letter that I would like to read. There's copies of it provided to you in your packet, I believe. And it's from Scott Hartley, who is the chairman of the Clinton Inland Wetlands Commission. I'm sorry, I misquoted that, didn't I? And he says, please read this letter to the town council. Dear town council, I, Scott Hartley, chairman of the Clinton Inland Wetlands Commission, would like to voice my support for Robert Corson to fill the vacant full seat on the Clinton Inland Wetlands Commission. As a current alternate commission member, Robert has attended all regular monthly meetings and special meetings since his appointment, and has demonstrated a firm understanding and commitment to upholding Clinton's inland wetlands regulations. He shows respect to all members of the public and it exhibits professionalism during all public meetings. His commitment to serving his community and interest in protecting our town's natural resources make Robert an excellent choice to serve as a full-seated commission member. I want to highlight that during the March 5th Clinton Inland Wetlands regular monthly meeting, the commission voted unanimously to endorse Robert for the vacant full seat. As the Inland Wetlands Commission is an appointed board, the vacant seat does not need to be filled by a member of the same political party. While Robert's appointment, with Robert's appointment, the IWC would still meet the requirements of Section 2-3, minority representation, elective appointed officials of the town charter. In my 7 years of serving on the Inland Wetlands Commission, the town council and previous board of selectmen has always followed the Inland Wetlands endorsement when voting to appoint an alternate member to a full seat position. I encourage the town council to do the same today and appoint Robert Corson to the vacant full seat. Sincerely, Scott Hartley, Chairman Clinton IWC. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Paul?
Hi, everybody. I would like to say a couple words on behalf of Tom Welch. Tom Welch would also like to serve on the full seat in the wetlands. I think many of you on the council know Tom, probably known Tom for many years. Tom is a real proud member of the community. He's loves Clinton, grew up in Clinton. When I think of Tom, I think of character and integrity. I think he's the best of what we have to offer in this town. I think Tom is always going to do what's right on behalf of Clinton. He's always going to make a decision that's with Clinton's best interests at heart. He's currently serving on Board of Ethics, which I think is a pretty impressive thing. He's also serving on coastal resiliency, bringing great wisdom and knowledge and experience to that. So I encourage you to consider Tom. I think Tom Tom's a gentleman, and I think he's just would be a great choice to serve on the full seat for inland wetlands. Thank you.
Any other guests who wish to be heard? Yes, Todd.
Todd Haydock, Public Works Director. Just to back up Mary, Jane, and Carol, sorry. I started here 32 years ago when it was the Highway Department. Went through the transition to Public Works. Pete Neff was the first member of that commission. A few years later, he was my boss. I got to step in his shoes after he left. It's a blessing and a curse, but I just want to totally support what's in front of you today to name the building after him.
Any other guests? All right, then I will move on to item number 3. The approval of minutes, March 20th, 2024. Do I see or hear a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion? I can't hear you. Okay. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Abstaining? All right, motion carries unanimously. Can you hear me now? Yes. All right. Item number 4, appointments and reappointments. The first is Doug Elliott for the Inland Wetlands Commission alternate seat, to the date 6/30/2027. Is there a motion to appoint Doug?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Abstaining? Motion carries unanimously. Next, we have the Henry Carter Hull Library Building Committee, and we had these applicants: Michael Neff, Paul Gebauer, Mark Simmons, Elizabeth Goldstein, and Mary Beth Breen. We also have Dennis Donovan on the council, who has agreed to be on that building committee as well. So may we have a motion to appoint all of these applicants?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion?
Yes, right here. Looks like we have a very fine pool of candidates. I also want to remind you that I believe now there'll still be one open seat. Is there or is there not?
Let me count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, yes.
Okay, because I had contacted a builder in the town who has agreed to also be on the committee. And I had mentioned it, and I guess he didn't get the proper thing in yet?
No.
Does he know about it?
I emailed him.
You emailed him and told him, okay, well, I'd like to at least give him another 2 weeks before we consider someone else for that vacant position. He's a well-known contractor. He's been on many other committees before, building committees here in town. So I just want to make that statement.
Sure. And did you know that Mark Simmons is a builder, too?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, great,
I read his
great.
resume, yeah, and that was fine. That's why I was
Okay.
comfortable
All right.
with having the way things are going right now, so.
So we appoint these 6,
Right.
and there's obviously another position open?
There's another vacancy,
Okay.
which I would hope, keep it open, because the merits of it is that there's a contractor.
Okay. Okay, noted.
I'll have to get on this case about how to fill out that thing on the online.
Okay, any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Abstaining? Motion carries unanimously. All right. Next, we have another committee, the America 250 Advisory Committee, and this morning we have Christy Pontillo and David Lavasser, who have applied for that committee. Is there a motion to appoint?
So moved.
Second? Second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Abstaining? Great, motion carries. Finally, on appointments, we have Richard Brown as a representative to the Estuary Transit District Board of Directors. Do we have a motion for that?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstaining? Motion carries. All right. So on to item number 5, the designation of the Public Works Building as the Peter Allen Neff Memorial Building.
So moved.
I'm going to ask Brian Manware if he'd like to speak about it.
Good morning, Council. Current Chairman of the Public Works Commission. As you've already heard from public comment about Pete's unwavering dedication to the community, I can speak on the fire department side, and I can also speak for the Public Works Commission side. I was a previous Public Works employee, and I've been on the commission since 2007. Pete was the first director that I was involved with hiring. I can tell you he has created a gem of a Public Works department, and they carry that on today. So we ask that you take our endorsement. This was discussed and unanimously approved at the commission meeting, so that is why it is on your agenda today. So thank you.
Thank you. Brian, is there anyone else who would like to speak, or shall we move on it?
I believe they spoke during public comment.
All right, so Dennis?
So moved.
All right, second. All right, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstaining? Motion carries unanimously. Item number 6, the authorization of a fiscal year 25 congressionally directed spending funds application for downtown wastewater treatment design. Is there anyone here to speak to it? I don't believe Abby's here. All right, so we're simply going to have a motion. Right. Oh, okay, all right, so I'll read that motion. From our town planner, Abby Pearsall, the motion to move to authorize the town manager to submit a funding application for fiscal year 25 congressionally directed spending using existing capital funds from line 604191-59709 to support the creation of final design documents for downtown wastewater treatment. I'm going to add the discussion that we had earlier. Again, from Abby, the Town Council held a joint workshop with the Water Pollution Control Commission on March 26, 2024. Members in attendance indicated general support to make an application to leverage existing capital funds appropriated for preliminary design to advance the project to final design. Funds in the fiscal year 24 capital budget would be used as a required 20% local grant match. The application deadline is April 14th, 2024. All right, so that was a background. So at this point, is there a motion?
So moved.
All right, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstaining? All right, motion carries unanimously. Item number 7, Human Rights Committee event at Town Hall on April 13th, 2024, exemption request to ordinance 194-4A and 194-5A. Is there a motion to approve the Human Rights Committee's exemption request?
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstaining? Motion carries. Okay. And number 8, the chairman's report. I believe that we've all received from Todd Hayek a request to schedule a workshop to look at future road maintenance. And so we as a council can understand what's going forward, and we can think about the budget going forward as well. So Mary, is it possible to schedule a workshop at 6 p.m. at our next meeting?
Sure, as long as everyone's
Okay,
available.
just wondering, okay. So you'll send that out?
Sure.
All right, I won't make a motion, but that will happen? Okay, all right, great.
What's the date, Mayor?
The 17th,
17th?
yes.
All right, so, and that's all I have this morning because we have such a busy day. Is there council discussion?
I'd like to bring up a topic of the Park and Rec project of putting the basketball court on the beach. I don't know if all the council members know all the details, so I just wanted to sort of summarize it and talk about what the issue is and, maybe help push to a resolution. I was hoping Abby was going to be here. In my opinion, I'm getting older, but I think sometimes you got to get people together in a room and just talk, pick up the phone and talk, and this seems to be going back and forth a little bit. So I know I didn't know all the details, so just a quick summary. We all know what happened with the pickleball court and trying to find the right place. A lot of factors, and the recommendation from the commission was to use the basketball courts at Indian River because it's graded, it has lights, and quite frankly, it was really the only viable option that was there. But part of that was, all right, well, there will be a new basketball court at the beach. They were separate projects, but I know personally as a council member, that was part of my decision because as a town, we don't normally take away something to add something. It's sort of a policy. I know Park and Rec's policy, and I know that's the way I look at it. So anyway, there is a basketball court now at the beach, but it's literally in the middle of the parking lot, and it's a safety risk, and it takes away parking spots, which is revenue for the town, and the beach is a jewel, and we really need as many people to be able to go there as possible safely. So the spot, if you don't know, is as you enter into the parking lot on the left, and there's a river that goes there. So I think where we are now, there's a river, and I watched the last two planning and zoning meetings, and quite frankly, they were very confusing, a lot of people talking at the same time. But it seems to come down to two things. One is, there's only a certain amount of surface that can be added that doesn't allow the water to go through. So some people were talking about that and how that has to be decreased. There's a certain ratio that's approved. Then at the latter part of the meeting, somebody brought up the fact that, well, there's deep is fine with where it is, but there's a Clinton regulation that says it has to be within a certain amount of feet of the river, like 50 feet. So people were talking at the same time, and the meeting sort of, in my opinion, left in confusion. Like, what needs to be done to build this basketball court? We had some emails back and forth, what needs to be done? And the last email from Abby said, all right, you have to eliminate over 1,000 square feet. And I'm not sure if that is for the surface requirement or for the fact that it's too close to the river. Because you have to understand, if we take the basketball court and move it into the parking lot to get it away from the river, that defeats the whole purpose, because now we're taking up spots, and that's the problem to start with, safety and taking away spots. So it's unclear whether that decrease in square footage is for the surface or to move it away from the river. The second thing is taking 1,000 square feet out of a basketball court basically makes it so it's not a basketball court. If you have, it's already a shortened court. So if it's 60 by 40, that's 2,400 square feet. So you take 1,000 out of that, it's not a basketball court anymore. So it's in a situation where I personally, I'm vested in this. I want to see this basketball court go in there. And what I see is, Park and Rec Commission asking questions to Abby, and, Abby emailing back, nobody being clear on what's happening, it going a week, 2 weeks, then it's wait for the next planning and zoning meeting, send in a letter, this and that. It's dragging on. And so I wanted to make sure the council knew all that, what I just said, And, like I said, I was hoping Abby was here, but I'm hoping that Park and Rec and Abby can get together and make this a priority and just figure out a solution. So I just wanted to bring that up. I think that these projects are related together, right? So if they can't do the basketball court, then the basketball court's over where the bathhouse is going to be built. So they need to know what's happening with the basketball court before they can even start plans on the bathhouse. And they're all related, and there's over $1 million worth of projects. So I know Abby's busy and has other priorities, but I think these projects should move up the list on our priority list.
Okay. Any other discussion?
Yeah. Going back to you, Chris, I often wondered, could we move that basketball court a little bit further down on the peninsula behind, back past, we have a lot of land. We go all the way out to the, to the peak there. And I'm just wondering if we could go past the pavilion thing there and go a little bit further out on the peninsula where you're not interfering on either side. I'm sure there's 50-foot clearance on either side that we could put the basketball. I mean, we got a lot of land there. We're not going to infringe on anybody's rights or anything. I know one time somebody suggested that there was going to be a shellfish barn or something there, but that never happened. So, has anybody even thought about that? I mean, I know everybody's sort of stuck on that basketball court's going to be right where the bocce courts were. Right next to the parking lot, the river, concession stand. Maybe we can move it out of the congestion a little bit further down the peninsula and solve everybody's problems. I don't know why.
I do think we need to think of something else because we're at a standoff right now. Like either something like that or the regulation, that 50-foot regulation, that we've been told, the Park and Rec Commission got told there's no way you can get a variance on that. But maybe that's our own regulation, can there be an exception made so that, again, I don't know what the 1,000 requirement to shorten it is for, I don't know. If Bo's here, I don't know if he could say anything about moving it down. I don't know about that idea. I haven't heard about that idea before.
No, I just...
Yeah.
Suggesting that somehow all the times when we have dilemmas or whatever you want to say, we get fixed. Oh, it's got to be right here because that's the way, it was always there. We had the bocce courts. We don't think out of the box and say, we don't have to be right in that little square. We got plenty of property there.
Yeah.
We move it a little bit, just like when I had suggested about the pickleball up at IROC. In the first place, that we could move it maybe, out on the grass area, which proved not to be viable. But, I just think that, we can't get stuck in these little box thoughts. We have to move. So, maybe is planning and zoning, is that who's involved with this?
Yep.
With a problem?
Yeah.
And you have Abby.
Yep.
And you have Park Rec.
Yep.
Possibly, maybe we could call the workshop, not with us, maybe just one rep from us, and call them to get together to get an honest answer and find out what's going on. Park Rec, planning, they have to talk about it. They got to do something.
Right, it's got to go through them.
We're going to be stagnant here for another year, 2 years.
Exactly. I know you agree with me in the sense that you have to talk it out. Has to get together and figure it out. It can't be this email exchange that takes forever and sort of swirling around half answers, vague answers, confusion. There needs to be a task force that realize, for me personally, this is important and I think it should get done and we should figure out a way to get it done.
Okay.
Yeah.
So between Parks and Rec and Abby, that will be resolved in one way or another, and then it will come to us.
And planning and zoning.
Right. and we'll go through that route. Okay, any other discussion? All right, going on to the liaison report, number 10. Would either Chris or Hank report on our meeting for downtown improvement?
All right, we met last night with Abby, Terry, Chris, and I, and we talked about redevelopment of downtown. That's what that subcommittee is for, revitalization of downtown. And there's a lot of thoughts and a lot of grand ideas. And there's some developers and people in town that have contacted us that are interested in doing things. But we want to stay focused on more immediate and direct solutions to downtown, and things that we think are their priorities are design and blight. And so we talked about that, and we talked about our blight ordinance and revising that to give it a little more teeth. What did I miss?
Want to add anything? Or
No, I mean, that's pretty much it. I think that the biggest thing for the downtown area was just the design portion of it all. Not owning the buildings and not having control over those buildings. The things that we can't control would be the things that we wanted to work on, which would be the design of what kind of the conformity of what we would like that downtown area to look like. So that was another portion of what we discussed, but that's something that's also down the road because that's a regulation issue. But everything else was.
Yeah, and we talked about the importance of forming a blight board to make our blight ordinance real too, so.
Our current blight ordinance provides for that, but we don't have one, a blight panel. We're thinking probably 3 people.
Right.
Review board.
Yep.
Review board.
So if somebody has a blight complaint and they feel that they weren't listened to or it wasn't the proper decision, then you can go in front of the board and they can make a final decision.
Never named a board, huh?
We never named a board.
Okay. Any other liaison report?
Just the other projects for Park and Rec Commission, the turf project, that's under contract, and that the turf will be closed from June 1st until August 15th. That's, they got together with the superintendent and the AD, and that's after the high school season. June 1st should be after the high school season, and then close it up, and the high school season starts again on August 15th. So, and, pickleball, as you know, is, we have to probably put that on the next meeting. We have which option we're going to go with, the bid that's under or the alternate bid. And the bathhouse is really not started, as I just described before, sort of waiting on the basketball court. There's some plans, I think, and some drawings and things like that. I'm hoping to stay on my, on my stage here as I'm talking. And I'm hoping on that one we sort of don't do things backwards and do things forward, where, we get the drawings or whatever, and that goes to Abby, and we talk it out and maybe consult with planning and zoning and Richard and sort of figure it all out before it gets to the final stages. And the bleachers is the other project. There's the bids are in on the bleachers. The scoreboard has been taken out of that project just for money-wise. But right now it's on budget for around, I think it's around $350,000. So those are the projects.
Yep. Any other reports?
I'd like to comment on that. So all of a sudden, the scoreboard is not in that project any longer?
Yeah, I don't know all the details, but they told me last night that, that they, to keep it within budget, they had to take the scoreboard out.
So what went up in the rest of the budget? Well, I guess you don't know offhand. You just got told this by someone. But again, here we go with the lack of communication around this town.
Yeah.
Because for the last year, when ARPA funds were, and everything else was discussed and got that project going, it was always discussed that the scoreboard would be part of the bleacher program. And for the last year, as far as I know, everything was in there, everything was fine, everything was going good. Now, all of a sudden, last minute, the scoreboard's pulled out.
Right.
So,
Right, and I think that goes, you know, across all these projects, as they keep dragging on, which is to my point as well, the cost keeps going up. You know, every project is priced at a certain point in time, and it just keeps going up as the time goes by. You know, you know me, Dennis, I would like to see, and I talked to Richard about this before, but this is for our workshop that we're gonna have with those ARPA funds. I know Park and Rec has a lot of money allocated to it, but these are projects that are under contract, that if we need to allocate money, you know, there's a couple $100,000, I understand, that's, you know, sort of unallocated. We should look at, you know, these projects and whether we want to put some more money towards them to make it, you know, to include the scoreboard if that's important to us.
so you say Park Rec's coming here in 2 weeks to the next meeting?
Yeah, I mean, I think they.
For another item, but I hope
Yeah.
maybe you could tell them that I personally would be questioning about the fact about what happened to the scoreboard.
Okay.
As you know, being the announcer up there
Yep.
for the last 4 or 5 years for the Morgan School, during the football games, it's an embarrassment when the scoreboard shuts down completely or the guy can't get the buttons going because it's an old-fashioned scoreboard. We look like
Mickey
know.
Mouse.
farmers out there. And we have people coming in from other towns, and then they all laugh at us. I mean, Chris has been there, he's been in the concession stand, he knows. So what the hell's going on here? Can't get the game going, stop the game, boom, boom, boom. So, I mean, I thought that was a very important part of the whole project, and everybody assured me that that was going along so well, and now all of a sudden, bing. I don't understand how the bids changed. There was a bid for everything, and so I'd like to have
Yeah.
some explanations about.
I think what we should put on the agenda next time is to have Abby and Park and Rec here and just talk it out, talk all these projects out.
I hope they talk about it before they come here, too.
Yes.
Well, yeah, that would be, yeah, to try to get things
Yeah.
on the other affair, yeah. Okay, well, that's my 2 cents.
Okay. Any other liaison reports? All right, then. Item number 11, is there a motion to go into executive session inviting Mary and Richard and Robert and Tom?
So moved?
Second?
Second?
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstaining? Motion carries. All right. Thank you very much, everybody. Okay, welcome back. We're now looking for a motion to appoint to the Inland Wetland Commission.
I nominate Tom.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion?
Yeah, I'll make a discussion. I'll probably abstain from this vote. The reason I'm going to abstain is because I know both of these individuals, so I have nothing against either one of them. They're both wonderful individuals. But I'm abstaining because I didn't like the way it was done. Okay?
Any other discussion?
Not because of the individuals, the process.
Any other discussion? All right, all in favor of Tom Welch being appointed to the Inland Wetland Commission?
Aye.
Opposed? Opposed? Abstaining?
Abstain.
I'm going to abstain.
All right, so the motion carries. Tom Welch is appointed to the Inland Wetland Commission. Congratulations, Tom.
Thanks,
Four in favor? Okay, and 2 abstaining. All right, we're now going to go back into executive session. Is there a motion to take us back?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
So item number 14. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? Thank you very much.